Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to listening to another episode of Fake Therapy with me, Maria Womack. It sure is good to be talking here again and to have so many people come to me and tell me how much they enjoy listening to the show. I'm still surprised by all the support that I've been getting and continue to get. But just know it seriously means the world to me, even when I think that I don't want to do it anymore or I start getting discouraged for this reason or that reason. Know that your kindness really does keep me going and makes me feel really good. And that was the intention, to make other people feel good too, and to bring everybody together on the same page of communication and just opening up to one another, even when you feel like there is no relation. There's always going to be something that me and a stranger can bond with. And I'm starting to believe that more and more as this goes along. It's really crazy. But anyway, today I decided to do another episode similar to one I've already done. I think I called it You Ask, I Tell. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. But basically, I went on Instagram and on Facebook and all that stuff, and I was like, hey, I want to do another episode where I have my listeners kind of reach out to me and ask me questions of any sort, advice on anything of any sort, or just get my food for thought on anything they want to. A lot of the times on Fake Therapy, I have a guest come on the show, and I more or less kind of focus it on them and talk with them. Of course, I get personal as well, but I don't know. I try to make it more about interviewing the person and just making it more about their time to shine, along with giving my commentary, of course, but I don't know. I think that it's kind of hypocritical if I continue to do it, making it all about another person and not giving my audience an opportunity to also get to know me and really know me and trust me to open up to me and feel comfortable around me. And I feel like the more I allow myself to be an open book, then the better it'll be for just what I'm trying to do with the podcast and my overall way of how I want to live as a more open person. So with that being said, I have these questions that you all have sent me. They've got some really good ones, and I think it's going to be another good round. I had a lot of fun reading these questions, and I'm really excited to answer them here. So yeah, I pretty much put out there, ask me anything, and I meant it, and I will be telling the truth here. The truth will be told here. So here we go. Okay. One of the questions I got was, what topics are you yearning to talk about on the show? Really good question. This list of things is endless, even though I wish I was putting out more content, and I wish I was kind of doing these things more weekly. I'm not really doing that. It's not because I don't have a lot to talk about, but yeah, I could just be better about that. Anyway, already going off tangent, but some topics I do want to talk about. I want to get into relationship stuff. I've been wanting to do an episode on infidelity, cheating, not only why it's bad, but maybe the side of a cheater and their side of the story, why they do the things they do. I would have something to say about that because I have been cheated on and I have been the cheater myself. So I think that would be an interesting little conversation. Has to be the right person. I don't know if everyone is willing to come out and admit that they've cheated on somebody, because that's a pretty taboo, shitty thing to admit to. But hey, it happens and people make mistakes, and I'm willing to hear somebody's side of it. And I've never really got to tell my side of um, more of like why I have been unfaithful in the past with partners, but it would be a nice thing to get into. It could be interesting. um, I want to talk about maybe like that kind of goes along with it reputation, someone with a bad reputation that maybe wants to come on and kind of own up to their bad reputation, either apologize for it or explain why they do the things they do, what they think people think about them, and just how you deal with it. I don't know. I feel like someone with a bad reputation, I mean, even if it's earned and deserved, go through a lot or have something going on in their head that they battle. I mean, no one really wants to like hate themselves, right? And if you have a bad reputation, you feel like everybody hates you. I feel like there's some darkness that goes along with that that I would like to know more about, you know? Get inside the head of a bad boy. Any bad boys want to come on the show? You're more than welcome. I want to do an episode on forgiveness, holding grudges, saying sorry, either have someone on the show that maybe had something really fucked up done to them and they were put in a position where they had to forgive somebody and had to be the bigger person, or maybe someone that just fucked up royally and wants to come out and say, hey, I know that what I did was the shittiest thing ever, and I don't know, maybe you were in a bad place and you want to say that. Maybe you feel like you were getting revenge on that person. Maybe you feel like you were justified. Maybe you just want to say sorry. Something along those lines. I think that would be really cool. I want to do there's so many things I want to do. I want to do an episode on like how I was raised versus maybe anybody could talk about this, how they were raised. We can compare how we were raised, how it contributes to how we are today and how we think, why we do the things we do. I think your childhood and how you were brought up really stems a lot of everything that you are, and the way you grow up is carried with you forever. Of course, you could change, but I think that how it is when you're a kid, you either are the way you are because you're comfortable with it, or it's so opposite from something that you hated then. If that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if it really makes sense, but I don't know. Growing up would be cool talking about that. And everyone is raised different. Every household is different. I want to talk about uh, the local music scene. I've been wanting to talk about that and just what it's like for a musician to kind of indulge in the community of a local music scene in general. I haven't really ever been a musician in a music scene before. I've been more of like a show goer and a show supporter, but I understand that there are some politics, maybe some drama in the music scene that people are like uncomfortable talking about. I don't know. I know it's a lot of fun and everything, but I think there's more than that. I mean, I want to talk about the fun of it, and I want to talk about the not so easy parts of putting yourself out there in a music scene. And right now, I think people are scared to go there for some reason. I mean, it can't be that bad, but who knows? That would be cool. Um, Pursuing dreams. What's your dream? And what you're doing to pursue it, and if you think you can pursue it. Everyone has a dream, I think, and some people have that dreamer personality, such as myself, where you have a dream and you kind of have the intention of having that as a goal to realistically get there. And some people have dreams that are like, oh, it's just a dream. I'm probably never going to be a famous dancer. It's just my dream. But I think it's really important to pursue your dreams and actively practice your craft. Hopefully, your craft is your dream and you're trying to get there. I don't know. I could definitely be better about pursuing my dreams, definitely. Even if I am a quote unquote dreamer, I don't do everything I could possibly do to be the best that I could be in my dream. But I'd like to think that I try to go for it. But hey, that is a conversation for that episode. Pursuing your dreams. What else? God, I have a whole list actually that I'm like trying to read off. OCD and personality disorders. I want to talk about that, which would be more in a style of like maybe a guest who has OCD or bipolar disorder, whatever the diagnosis might be. And I would have them more or less come on and teach me things about said diagnosis because I haven't really been to a doctor, even though I do struggle with like uh, my mental health sometimes here and there. I haven't really ever been to a doctor to diagnose me to say that I'm a certain textbook thing. So I don't really know if, I have a whatever disorder or what, but I would like to have somebody on who has been diagnosed with something to teach me some maybe like misconceptions about it or what it's just like to live your life with OCD or bipolar disorder or my God, I don't know, schizophrenia or all kinds of stuff. I don't even know what all's out there. There's all kinds of stuff. Even though I talk a lot about mental health on the show, I'm certainly no expert on the matter and need more education on it. So I want to talk about it. So please come on the show, help me, teach my audience about it so we could be more polite to each other. I also want to talk about uh, a perspective from a baby daddy side because I've kind of done like a mother side, not so much on like a baby mama side. It wasn't really like that, but for the father perspective, I would kind of like to do more of like a my life as baby daddy kind of thing because I think that's very interesting. There's a lot of what is it called when it's like co-parenting. There's a lot of co-parenting going on, which is wonderful. And there's also a lot of like baby daddy hate out there, which I think needs to be debunked a little bit. There's always two sides to every story, two sides to every story. Am I right? Two sides to every story. I don't know where that came from. And last thing I have on my list that this question made me think of was promiscuity and sexuality. I want to talk about that and slut shaming, how that's bad, just kind of living in our sexuality freely with no guilt or how it should be that way. And, like being sexually active and how that's okay and how you're allowed to have sex before marriage and all this stuff that we need to normalize as far as promiscuity goes. It's not a bad thing. You're not always like a fucking slut bitch if you're promiscuous, okay? Just want to let that be known. So yeah, those are just a few of the things that I want to maybe talk about later on the show. Usually the style of me coming up with topics is someone saying, hey, I want to be on the show. And I'm like, okay, what would you want to talk about? So I kind of ask that person first. I don't normally go to a person and be like, hey, would you be willing to talk about pursuing your dreams? on the show. Because usually I don't know these people that well. Most of the time when I have a guest on, I get to know them the most when they get on the show. And they always leave, to me in my head, we're closer than we were before. So uh, it's hard for me to like push a topic on somebody, and I try not to do that. But yeah, if you're listening and any of those topics feel like something you feel comfortable really diving into with me and you feel like you're the right person to I mean, don't feel like if you come on the show to talk about cheating that you're the face of cheating or anything like that. But it's just specifically your perspective. That's very important. Very great question. Another question somebody asked me is, if you had the means to move anywhere in the US, where would you move to? So, with this one, I was thinking, it's not really hard to think of. Anywhere in the US, hands down, I would live in LA. I would move to LA because if I was living in LA, I could be more aggressive in pursuing my talents and stuff I want to do as far as like the acting goes. And I guess podcasting goes too. I could probably network a lot better and get to know some really cool people in the business of entertainment, I guess is the word for it. And I'd be able to do cool things all the time, go to really cool places. I would be around so much entertainment and just wonderful, beautiful things. And I would be able to, I don't know, take entertaining to the next level, I think, in LA. And I've wanted to do that. And I've even been like, I'm going to move to LA next year. I swear I'm so fed up with this. But realistically, I'm kind of scared. I don't know. I'm scared of a lot of things about moving to LA. Like, first of all, I don't even know if I would like fit into that whole scene of like the tall, flawless, beautiful girls, the Instagram baddies, um, you know, the models, and just the whole LA girl vibe. I don't really have the LA girl vibe, I don't think, and I don't really know if I would just get chewed up and eaten out there. And I'm also very scared of driving, and I can't really do that if I lived there. I would have to pump up some levels in the driving area if I were to move there. Or I would have to get a driver, and I'm not that rich. I wish I was rich, I could hire a driver, and I would move to a really nice place in LA. I'm rich, so I don't really care as much about what people think of me. So maybe that's when I'll move to LA. We'll see. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just like building it up as this like wonderful place that I wouldn't really like if I went there. You never really know, but maybe I'll live there one day. Maybe I won't. I don't really know where my life is heading in any means. And it would take a lot for me to seriously consider packing up and moving to LA. That would be insane. It'd be so insane, but it'd be so cool. It would be so cool. Okay, question number 3. Where did you and Javin meet, and how long have y'all been together? Uh, so me and Javin have. Okay, let me start with how we met. So I told you guys that I would like go to shows and stuff like that. Panama City has despite what people say, they have a pretty good music scene going on there. And I started going to shows when I was like, God, I probably started going to shows when I was like 16, 17. And then I was started going like a lot when I was like more 18 years old. And I would go to shows and stuff. And there was this guy named Javin Irving who was like a singer in a band. And he was like known for recording a lot of people in the scene. And he was just someone that was like around in the scene that I never talked to, but always saw around, and always thought that he was very attractive because he was kind of mysterious and like very artistic. And I loved his music. I loved his lyrics that he performed. He's a great performer. And when he's not doing that, he's quiet. And I think that was very sexy to me. But I didn't talk to him for a long time. I just kind of secretly thought that. So there came a point where I was like, I think I was like kind of in a distraught place. And I was feeling like kind of hopeless when it came to guys. And I was at lunch with a friend and we were just kind of talking. I think I had just like finished things with this one dude and I was just fucking over it. I'm like all this fucking bullshit, dude, like bullshit on bullshit. And even though I was like 18, I was had a few boyfriends. I pretty much always had a boyfriend since I was like 15. So it's like 3 years of already a lot of bullshit. I'm fucking tired. So I'm at lunch with my friend and we're just talking about all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? You know, someone that I have always thought that was so cute and I've just never thought I could talk to him. And my friend was like, who? And I was like, Javin Irving. It sounds so weird to like talk about him like that because I know him so well now. But yeah. And she was like, you should go for it. And I was like, you know what? No more being scared. I am. I'm going to go for it. And it was kind of like jumping out of my shell a little bit because at the time I thought he was a very intimidating person. He was also a little bit older than me. And I don't know, that made him that much more unapproachable in my head. He wasn't that much older than me. Let me make that clear. He was just a little. So anyway, I was at the time working at O'Charlie's. I was a hostess with my best friend. And I'm like working up this plan to talk to this guy. And I'm not really that confident of a person. You know, I'm talking about approaching a guy who I thought I would never have a chance with anyway. So I'm kind of freaking out and she helps me compose this Facebook Messenger that I'm going to send him. And I think it went along the lines of like, hey, I like saw you at a show. Just wondering, when's the next time you guys are going to be playing? I want to come see. I don't know, some bullshit. Not like I didn't like his music. I liked his music a lot, but obviously I have other intentions. And he was just like really nice. And we talked back and forth. And he like wanted to take me on a date of some sort. What? So he like came and picked me up at my house. And that I feel like that was like me first meeting him for the first time because before that it was just like a bunch of like, oh, we had passed each other a million times, never acknowledged each other or like said hey to each other ever. I just randomly hit him up on Facebook and now he comes and picks me up at my house. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking is like our first time meeting. He picks me up At the time, he had access to my all-time favorite venue in Panama City, A&M, because he would like work there and record there sometimes. So we just like went in there and hung out in there and we watched Walk the Line and we had a very cute date. It's the only time I've ever had sex on the first date. And 6 years later, look, we're still together, doing better than ever. That is my fucking bae, boo, forever. 6 years. Isn't that fucking crazy? It's so crazy how you could, like, think about somebody too and how you think they're so unapproachable, and now they're your best friend, dude. Just don't think that way, is my point. And go for what you want, because I did. And it turned out really well. It's still going very well. It's still continuing to go very well. Very cute question. Somebody else wanted to ask me, have you and Jevin ever talked about marriage? 6 years. When am I going to get married already? Everyone wants to know. People ask me that all the time, like when I'm going to get married. I'm 25. I've had the same partner for 6 years. Everyone's wondering. My mom is wondering. My mom is like, what the hell's going on? I want a wedding. That's what my mom says. And yeah, of course we talk about it, but it's not really like in a hurry kind of thing. I'm not like rushing to get married. I don't know. I just like the older I get, the more I'm just like, I don't know. Like I do want to get married, but it's not like a priority in my mind to like plan a wedding. I think it's just so much of a thing that I'm like discouraged from planning it, discouraged from spending the money on it. I don't know. I'm like thinking of like getting married in this big wedding of like one day, all this money that I could like spend on so many other things in my life. And also like a wedding to me sounds like a huge performance. Like I'm supposed to like perform my love and prove my love to all these guests at a wedding. It doesn't feel like it's for like me and him at this point when everyone's like, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? I don't know. Like in a way, I like feel married now and I love my relationship the way it is now, where we live a very married life. Like we live together, we sleep in the same bed, we do everything together, we share our money together, we share everything together. There's like not a single thing I could think of that we don't share together. So he's like kind of like my unsaid husband. If I'm like at work talking to clients and stuff and someone's like, "Oh, your husband," calls him my husband, I'm just going to go along with it and be like, "Yeah, that's my husband." Or if I'm talking to somebody I don't really know that well, I have referred to him as my husband before. Is that weird? I don't know. I don't know. And I also don't want to like force someone to like propose to me. That's another reason too. I don't want to be like, when are you going to marry me? Or like, I don't want to like be naggy about that because it's just like not that important to me. I don't feel like because we're not married that he doesn't love me or that he wants to like be with anybody else. I also feel like since we're not married, like if you want to go be with somebody else, go be with somebody else, okay? You have no ties to me. You're here because you just love me and you want to be with me. And I think that alone is kind of romantic in its own way. However, maybe one day we'll grow up and get married soon to make everybody happy. I do want to marry him. I'm going to marry him. I really am. I promise I'm going to marry him. There was just one point in our relationship where I think we were together for maybe like 3 years. And I was like, I literally was like, please don't propose to me this year. Like, I don't want to get married this year. But if he were to propose now, I would totally say yes. I think it's just the planning of like a wedding that discourages me so much. And just like the finances of everything that goes into like the ring, the wedding, the like invitations, the dress, all that stuff that I'm like, that is fucking bullshit. But I understand that my marriage and my wedding can be whatever I want it to be. So if I don't want that stuff, I don't have to have it. We like actually were talking about we were like at dinner or something, and I was like talking about how I went to hang out with my family, and my sister and my mom were talking about like ring shopping and how like a lot of girls now will like go with the guy and be like pick the ring that he buys. And I'm like, "What? That's crazy." Like I feel like I would be happy with any piece of jewelry that someone wanted to propose to me with. Like that's major. Like I would just be so over the moon over just a proposal that I wouldn't be like, over the ring, you know? Like, that just seems so heartless to me to, like, not love it, whatever you're given, but I don't know, my mom and my sister were like, "No, like, I would wanna go, blah, blah, blah." I don't think my mom has an engagement ring, she does, but she didn't have the wedding. My mom, like, went to the courthouse to get married after I was already a year old. So I think she, like, wants to live through me too, and she's like, "Have a wedding, I'm gonna help you plan it, and it's gonna be great," and I'm like, okay. I don't know. I'm just like always scared to make big moves. It's not that I don't want to get married to my partner. I'm in love with my partner and I want to spend forever with him. I don't want to be with anybody else. But just the wedding is very intimidating to me. Oh, anyway, the ring thing. I brought that up to Javin and he was like, no, you should totally come with me to pick your ring. I want you to love what you get. And I was like, oh my God, what? So even just talking about the ring, I think, made it a little bit closer, and I got very excited about it. I don't know. Also think maybe I just have some insecurity that like nobody wants to marry me, so I'm just like making excuses. But I'm gonna be married one day, and that's who I'm gonna marry. Just so you guys know. And then he's gonna be my future baby daddy for sure. Let's see. Next question. Question number 5. Do you have any dating advice? Let me take a sip of water first. Let's see. I wrote a few things. Dating advice for you. Um, First let me say I'm like not the best dater or anything. I've like dated some really unfavorable people. I think you know that. So that being said, here's my dating advice. Here's my dating advice if I were single today. Let's say that. This is how the rules I'd go by if I were single today and if I was actively dating. Okay. Maybe like don't go looking. Don't stop your life for love. I think it's really exhausting for someone to be like, "Oh, everything would just be better if I like had a girlfriend," or like my life wouldn't suck if I had a boyfriend. Like everything sucks that I don't have a boyfriend. Like what? Like that first of all, that's not really that attractive. Like I don't think that like someone wants to be with someone who's just like looking for a girlfriend. Like to me, if I were to date someone that's like, I've been wanting a girlfriend for a really long time, I would be like, oh, okay, so did I just like happen to walk up here? So I got picked to be your girlfriend. I'm not special or anything. And then also, like, don't revolve yourself around like somebody else's love. Like, you have so many other cool things you could be distracting yourself with, that you could be working on. You could be working on yourself, working on all these cool things that you want to do, and that's going to be attractive to somebody else, and then they're going to come to you. Just don't go looking for somebody. That's probably a very important piece of advice here. I just don't want you to be sad, like waiting for Mr. Right, Mrs. Right to come along and think every bad thing that happens to you is because you don't have a girlfriend, okay? Because I don't know. it's just not everything. I mean, I love that I have a boyfriend, of course. People are gonna say that, like, I have no place to talk because I have one. I have a partner, but I just think even if it's not easy, just try to, like, go by that. Don't go, like, chasing anybody. Don't chase anybody, okay? If they remind you of your ex in any way, don't do it. If they have anything familiar to anything that, like, your toxic ex did, or even if you, like them for something that reminds you of your ex, like, your ex is your ex for a reason, and we don't need to be, like, making the same mistakes here. So, if it gives you a bad feeling and he does something that reminds you of something super manipulative or shady that your ex did and that contributed to the downfall of your relationship, then try not to repeat mistakes, okay? That might help. I mean, I've done it a million times. I'm kind of being hypocritical here, but that's just my advice in my right state of mind. Um, you should try to find someone who encourages you to do good things, to push you to be your best self. I think that if you have goals and you have dreams that you want to go for, if the person that you're dating wants to tell you that that's not a good idea or wants to convince you that you don't really want it, then they're holding you back 100%. And I think that's why my relationship with Javin thrives so well, is because he's such a great support system to me, and he just, like, holds me up in anything I wanna do. Anything that I say I wanna do, he, like, literally puts me on his shoulders and, like, raises me up to the sky to support me, and that's what you deserve too, 100%. You need to, like, be encouraged to do better. I mean, some people are encouraged to do better on their own, but there are some people who, like, get in their holes and feel like they can't do shit that they can definitely do. And someone who wants to see you do those good things is always gonna help someone who tells you that you're not that good at that, or you probably should quit that. It's just, like, not wanting the best for you. That's not good. Don't date that person. Dump that person. Don't date them anymore. You need to be with someone that makes you feel special. You need to be with someone who makes you feel rare, okay? I felt like for so long, a long time ago, I felt like I was, like, special, but no one else saw it. It's so fucking narcissistic. But I always thought that, I'm kinda pretty, I'm funny, I'm, like, kinda different, not basic, kinda not basic. So, like, why don't I have a fucking boyfriend? Why doesn't anyone, like, wanna be my boyfriend in a serious way? It's because I was fucking around with boys that didn't make me feel special, and you just gotta know your worth and match with somebody who also believes in you, just believes in you and makes you feel like you are the one, not just someone with good timing or someone that was just around. Like, they have to make you feel like the one, okay? Or, like, don't even mess around with me because there's somebody else that could make you feel like a goddamn star. And so we shouldn't be messing around with anyone that doesn't make us feel that way. Um, Another big piece of advice that I have that I feel like I kind of like messed up with in previous relationships where I wasn't like being so cool, calm, and collected at the beginning. I feel like I've made the mistake before of like talking to a guy and like expecting them to just like be my everything right then and there. Even though at first in the beginning, you don't know each other that well. And like, you don't really owe them that like devoted love at the very beginning, I don't think. I think it's something that needs to be earned over time, or else it's not really real, you know? So, like, while you're just starting to date at first, just don't get jealous about stuff. Try not to be, like, jealous and crazy. I mean, I'm not saying, like, those times where he was, like, a total fucking shithead to you, and he's, like, telling people you're jealous and crazy. I mean, when, like, you see he likes girls' pictures and stuff like that, like, just try not to freak out. Know that, like, there are guys that like your pictures too, that drool over you too. You have stuff going on for you too. You don't need to be jealous of anybody. You have your own life. You have your own friends. You have other people that like you. Either way, you don't need to sweat it. Like, don't sweat the little things, especially at first. You just have to focus on yourself, and that's attractive. And that will make the person that you're trying to date like you even more. You don't want to be like up the person's ass or like accusing them of shit because they liked someone's picture. I've done that shit and it's ruined some stuff for me before. And I don't know. It just sucks to like, it also sucks. Think of it vice versa. If someone was like on you all the time because you were like liking pictures on Instagram of, say, like, if I was liking guys' pictures and, like, Javin got mad at me. Say, like, we were, like, in the beginning of our relationship and he was, like, getting really mad at me because he randomly saw I like this guy's picture. I'd be like, "You need to chill out." That would just make me feel like I was just so in this little box of no freedom, and I don't know. I think the jealousy is, good to stay away from, especially at first. It's really hard to start a relationship off with jealousy. And I think that another reason why my relationship with Javin goes so well is because like he very much set the tone for like jealousy. I feel like at first I was kind of like jealous. I like went through his phone too in the beginning. Oh my god. And I don't know. We would like get in. I remember like getting in a little bicker about it. And he was just like, if you don't trust me, then let's just like not even go through with this. Like, I don't really need this right now. And he was totally right. Like, we were just like casually dating at first. And then I kind of decided, you know what? Fine. I won't be jealous. But if this motherfucker ends up being shady on me and I catch him, it is done. I swear to fucking God, it is. And that never happened. So, yeah, don't get jealous until you get a reason to be jealous. And I think things will go well. Just stay calm. Stay calm. Even if he, like, did cheat on you, let's just get rid of him. We just won't worry about it. We'll just get rid of him. But don't stress it anymore beyond that. Don't, like, anticipate something bad happening all the time. Just enjoy yourself casually at first and take it slow. Like, don't be so invested in one person so quickly because that could get so dangerous. Just take it slow and let love come as it's deserved. Okay? I hope that makes sense. That is my dating advice. Maria's dating advice. I hope that's good. Another question someone wanted to ask me are my thoughts on the glamorized witch/hippie aesthetic. Witch/hippie aesthetic. I had to like kind of think of what this was. I think witchy aesthetic. I think of like fucking Stevie Nicks vibes or something. Like the big black. I don't want to. It's not a witch hat. It's not like the costume witch hat with the point, but like it's kind of like a round short top, but there's like a big like black rim. What are those hats called? It's not fedora. but it's not like a witch thing. But you know what I'm talking about. And I guess you were like black, and you have the boots and like the rings and like the moon crescent like necklace, and you're into like the crystals and stuff like that. And like, I don't know, I guess I could be guilty of dressing similar to that sometimes. I don't think it's like my full aesthetic where I like dress like that every day, but I could definitely be guilty of having an outfit like that. But not the hat, because I'm not a hat girl. I've never been able to wear hats. And I feel like the hat is a big part of it. But I guess what really comes to my mind is like, are these women really witches? Are they really witches? Do they play some part in witchcraft? I kind of wonder. I think that they might, maybe, right? I mean, if you're like into the witch aesthetic, maybe you do kind of pursue that practice a little bit, which is fine. I mean, I think it's really cool, definitely. Um, is Stevie Nicks a witch? Is she really a witch? I don't know if hers is just an aesthetic or if she's really a witch. Wasn't she called the White Witch? Or am I like totally bugging? I don't know. I don't know. Witchcraft is fine to pursue in if that's what you want to do. I mean, don't be fucking evil, is all I ask. But I don't really see anything wrong with pursuing witchcraft. But are you asking of just the aesthetic, like the glamorized aesthetic? I mean, is it offensive to real witches? Like, would a real witch see some young girl with the witch aesthetic and be like, "A fucking bitch thinks she's a witch. What the hell?" Or would she be fine? I mean, as long as it's not offensive to them and they're not like thinking it's weird. I wonder what they do think though. I gotta talk to a real witch about it and see what they think of the glamorized witch hippie aesthetic. I mean, I guess I kind of indulge in the aesthetic. Like I like stuff about witches. Like I watched the Sabrina the Teenage Witch show on Netflix. I'm really enjoying that. Blair Witch Project, The Witch, The Craft. Like I like stuff like that, definitely. Which is playing into like a glamorized thing about it. But I mean, it's kind of harmful. I think it was overall harmless, the aesthetic at least. As long as it's not inspiring people to like go out and do fucking bad shit with witchcraft, then I'm fine with it. Which I think the moral in the story in most of these stories is that doing that is bad. So I think as long as that's the case, then that's fine. I think it's fine. I'm fine with it. I have been asked to start a coven, to join a coven before. And I think it's cool and stuff, but I don't know if I have the energy to devote um, all the time and power and energy that it would take to take it very seriously. So if I was going to do it, I would take it very seriously. And I kind of feel like my plate's a little full right now. And yeah, it's just like not really on the top of the list. But like there are people that are really into like the crystals and the tarot cards, and I think it's fun. I think it's harmless. I think it's okay. We'll leave them alone. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Let's get to a next question here. Do you have any advice on not isolating and disassociating? So for this one, I've heard a lot about obviously isolating is when you like literally isolate yourself. You don't go out, you don't surround yourself with people. Disassociating, I kind of had to look up the example of that. And the definition that I found is disassociation, a psychological experience in which people feel disconnected from their sensory experience, sense of self, or personal history, feeling outside yourself. I feel like from what I understand, it's kind of something that happens when you're dealing with a trauma that you wish wasn't yours. So your body kind of like your soul like physically removes itself from your body and just like being like I want nothing to do with that. So I am going to have an out of body experience and just like it sounds very numb, and I can relate to it in that aspect of, like, so much is happening that you just, like, are tired of getting worked up, and then you're just so numb to it all. But it's real, and it's unavoidable, and I think cases where this gets really serious, I think that you should just go to real therapy and talk to a professional about, what you can do, because I think in times like that, it's something that you don't wanna face that's really important that you do need to face. And it's so personal and so fragile that I don't know, it needs to be taken very seriously in the right hands. I don't know what advice I would give about disassociation besides to just try to, like, take your problems on head on, which I think a good step to that would be seeking therapy, which I never have done, and I probably need to do sometime in my life. Um, Avoid isolation by just keeping in touch with people, your friends, your family, because people do worry about you when they don't hear from you, even if it's just a quick passing thought of, I wonder if this person is okay. They're still worrying about you. The longer you isolate, the more you kind of start normalizing this lonely state. And it's just going to make it harder for you to get out there and socialize. It's going to make every event that you have to go to even harder. So, if you have been isolating yourself for a long time, maybe start with, I mean, just getting on social media and like start a conversation with somebody or start commenting on someone's stuff and being like, hey, do you want to hang out maybe one day? Do you want to go to lunch? Do you want to get coffee or go to this movie or come to my house and hang out? You know, just like you can start relationships from farther away so they're not so scary, but definitely try to get out of your house and like physically let people see you and see that you're doing well. Because socializing is very important. It really is. Even if you feel like you don't want to do it or you're tired of it. At least with me, in moments where I'm like, I just need to be alone or I'm tired of people today. Like, that's okay to do for maybe like one day. But even if I do isolate myself for a full day, I feel kind of bad about it, which I think is a sign that I shouldn't be doing it, that I just need to keep moving and I just need to deal with it. I need to keep socializing. So, not very good things, but definitely real and things that we need to deal with and we need to make moves about. We gotta avoid these slumps here and just try our best. It's hard though. It's really hard coming from that, especially if you've been doing it for a very long time. But just know that you can do it and you can turn stuff around. And we can get out there and show ourselves off in our own bodies, not isolating ourselves. And that sounds like a lot of fun. But definitely harder, easier said than done. Next question. What is your favorite physical thing about yourself and favorite non physical thing? So, my favorite physical thing, um, I don't know. There's not like a hands down thing because I don't think anything on me is like really perfect. But if I had to say my favorite physical thing, it'd probably be my smile or my butt. My smile, because I feel like when I smile when I'm talking to somebody, it could make them feel more comfortable around me. And I think that it just makes people feel better when I smile. Narcissist. Or my butt, because sometimes people tell me I have a good butt. So I just believe them because that's just what they said. So yeah. My favorite non-physical thing, which I guess is like my personality, I had to think about this for a long time. I had to think about this for a while. But I think my favorite personality trait is either when I'm funny, when I'm loose and comfortable enough to let go and like tell jokes and be funny and silly, my goofy side, or when I seem smart. I like those two things. I don't think I am those things all the time, but in moments where I do act that way, I like it. Those are my favorites. I have to be in a good mood though, or I can't do it. I have to be in a good mood or I'm not myself, fully myself. So if I'm not in a good mood, I'm not going to be myself. I'm not going to feel myself at all. I'm going to just like fucking hate myself, which I do sometimes. But we try not to. We try really hard not to. Okay, big question here. I knew that people would ask me this, and I actually had 3 different people ask me somewhat of the same question. This question is, what made you finally decide to start modeling and selling content / producing OnlyFans content? So if you don't know, I recently started an OnlyFans account, and that is real. It's really me doing it. Do you think that's crazy? Do you think that's the craziest thing you've ever heard? Well, I've always wanted to do something of the sort as far as like sex work. I've always thought about doing it like multiple times. Um, like a few years ago, there was this girl I knew that was like coming to the surface that she was like, what's the fucking website called? Chatterbait? Or like, I don't know what it was. I don't know the website. It might have been Chatterbait, but she was a cam girl. And like she would post crazy stuff on Instagram that insinuated she was a cam girl. She would like advertise about it on her social media. And everyone would be like, oh my God, that's so scandalous. Oh my God, that's so crazy that she's doing that. But like at the same time, like I kind of like fantasize about that and like being a successful cam girl or something like that. Like I just feel like that would be the coolest. And if I want to do it, I should do it, right? Like a few years ago, I was like wanting to. I like made a Chatterbait account. Even went through the steps where they like take the picture of your ID and then you take a picture of the ID, hold it up to your face, and then take another picture and you send it in. They approve it. I was already to that level. I told Javin about it that I wanted to. He like got me a webcam for like Christmas or my birthday or something. Like he was like all on board to do it. And I like didn't go through with it. I didn't go through being a cam girl professionally back then, but I kind of have always liked being watched, kind of. Is that too much to say? In the heat of the moment, when I'm like fooling around with my partner, sometimes I have been like, let's get on a webcam chat or something. And I like have a lot of fun. I really liked it. And I was literally doing it for free for my own enjoyment. And I had a lot of fun. I haven't done that in a while though. But I was seeing a lot of my friends kind of like come out with their OnlyFans accounts. They're like posting about it, like, follow me on OnlyFans, OnlyFans, OnlyFans. And I'm like, oh shit, that's awesome. Like, how empowering too to like, okay, if you don't know let me explain what this whole OnlyFans thing is. You need to like, if my mom's listening, you need to stop listening right now. Or my dad, or my sister, anyone in my family. Please stop listening. Because this is very embarrassing to talk to you about. And I hope you never find out in a million years. Ever. Okay, that being said, I think, oh yeah, what is OnlyFans? Sorry. OnlyFans is a website where you can make an account and you post content such as pictures, videos. A lot of these girls are doing nude pictures, boobies, butt, vagina, asshole. Some are like doing videos of like more sexual things. There's a lot of twerking going on. Let's just generalize it as sexy stuff. They're posting sexy stuff on their profile, and it's exclusive content because your followers are your subscribers who subscribe to you to get access to this content for a certain amount of money a month. So that's what it is. Posting nudes, etc. And people pay to be able to have access to that content. And they also can talk to you. I guess you could be as friendly as you want to be. And you could also kind of like get tips, and you could also sell additional things along with your subscription, such as more exclusive videos and more exclusive photos, maybe for just that particular subscriber that you want to message. So that's what it is. It sounds so empowering, and it's just so great to see women in charge of their nudes. I mean, people have like seen my nudes before and I didn't find out till years later, and they're all, I don't know what they're talking about, but they're just ganging along to it for free, just talking about it for free, and it makes you feel like shit. But if you're in charge of the nudes and you're like, you need to pay this or you don't get to see shit, then that kind of changes the game, you know? And I'm seeing more of my friends do it, and I'm just so into it. I also like haven't felt too sexy lately, like in a long time, because I just don't like really doll myself up like I used to, or like, you know, I've been in a very comfortable relationship for a long time. Probably don't try as hard, I guess, naturally. And I just don't like, I'm just like, I just don't feel sexy. I didn't feel sexy. And I was kind of thinking that maybe if I like had these sexy photo shoots and I like did this whole OnlyFans thing, that it would like make me feel really good and like help me remember my sexy self that lives inside of me. My sexy self, I miss her. And I wanted to start it before it became too mainstream too, which it kind of already is mainstream. Like I see, like we're all sharing each other's OnlyFans. We're all like talking about OnlyFans. It's becoming normal. And I needed to hop on the bandwagon. I just felt like I needed to get in now or never. And I was also jealous of like girls who did put themselves out there like that. I just think it's the coolest thing. And I'm like jealous of like how sexy they are and how confident they are. And I figured like if I want to be like them, I should just be like them. And I've always had that personality where if I see somebody doing something that I like, I want to do it too. I'm going to try to do it too. If I can do it, if I really realistically think that I can do it, I'm going to try to do it. And I want to do it. And now I could live out my fantasy of working in the sex industry, which is crazy. And I'm also doing it in a very safe atmosphere. I feel very safe doing it. And at a point, if like one of those pictures got leaked, it has a watermark saying that it came from OnlyFans, and you know that that person paid to see it. So we shouldn't be laughing at it. Why would I think that people would be laughing at my nudes? I don't know why my mind goes there, but yeah, overall it's been really good. I've been doing it since Monday. Today is Saturday, so it's been like 6 days of me doing it. And I've made like $236. I guess that's not that bad. I guess that's not that bad. It's not that bad. I feel like I could do better though. I feel like I could do a lot better. I don't know. But I kind of also like the money, okay? Like I'm hearing about all these girls that are making like what, $1,000 a week, and they now are like saving up for a cruise after like doing it for a month, or like they got to quit their 9 to 5 job. Like that's my fucking dream. If I could like do this as my job, that would be life changing. So I kind of went in this thinking I'm going to change my life financially. And so far that's not happening. But I mean, I have $236. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, but I need a new car. And that's not enough. Somebody else asked me to kind of like kind of elaborate on my thoughts on careers in the sex industry, such as porn, dancing, selling nudes. How does it make me feel, and how it can be empowering for some, but embarrassing for others, okay? I think that when women are in charge of the sex industry, that it's great. Doing this, I've never felt more of like a modern woman. I feel like a woman of 2020 doing my thing, and I feel in charge, which sounds really weird. It sounds weird, and I hope it makes sense, but that's how I feel. I makes you feel really modern, and like you're seriously like selling your nudes on the internet for money. Like what a world! And people are like buying into it. By the way, I my subscription is $20 a month. How do you feel about that? Would you pay $20 a month? I don't know. I went back and forth about that too. I just don't want to be too cheap, but I don't want to be too expensive. I'm kind of trying to figure it out though. I'm like in the beginning stages of like figuring this out. I'm not totally confident in it yet. But I do feel kind of sexier. Kind of. I don't know. This thing has been a roller coaster so far, let me be honest with you. Because at first, I posted about it on my Instagram story. And people were like, whoa, make that money, girl, blah, 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 blah. Whoa, like, awesome, so glad you're doing this. And like, I got a lot of attention at first. I probably like the first day got like 6 subscribers, $20 each. They take 10%. Still a good amount of money though. I think for every $20 subscription, I get like $17 or something like that. So that's not bad. I'm kind of also like having to play this game of like testing my boundaries of like what's appropriate, because in general the idea of like anyone paying a subscription is insane to begin with, right? So I'm like, okay, like what's too much? So I kind of like tried charging people to talk to me, charging people to open every message I sent them, and somebody actually told me that that was not good, and he like kind of got mad at me, I think. And I was like, I'm sorry, I had to apologize. So I hope I didn't fuck that one up. And God, what else? I'll like make these videos and I'll like try to send them to people for like $20, $30. And sometimes they'll open it and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're like, maybe next time, because they don't want to spend the extra money. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't like be this door-to-door salesman of these fucking videos. That part makes me feel very desperate and very ugly when they don't want to like open my special picture or special video. Okay, it really hurts my feelings. It's starting to get to me a little bit. That part's bad. I shouldn't be that emotionally invested into it. But I went from like having this sexy photo shoot and like taking these pictures and feeling probably the sexiest I felt in a very long time to like starting to post them and realizing that like I could be doing more. Like it almost feels like what I'm posting is not enough or like not sexy enough now. Like I need to be doing more. And God, I've just been kind of like down on myself at times when I like don't make any money for the day. I'm just like, what the fuck? People aren't into it anymore, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like also like it maybe came out of left field for a lot of people. Like when I was like, oh, I have OnlyFans now, people were like, what? I'm confused by that because I don't know you like that. Like, why would I subscribe to your OnlyFans? I don't know you as like a sexy kind of girl, which makes me feel so fucking bad, dude. Like, you don't think of me as a sexy girl? Every girl wants to feel like they're sexy. So like the fact that I like was super nervous to like start this and then like I thought I would be like making so much bank and it's not as much as I thought I would be making. I'm like, wow, I was like getting too confident and I was like setting my worth higher than it really is. Even if that's not true. That's kind of like where my mind goes. Even if that's 100% not true. That's just what I think. But I don't know. I guess I haven't really done a good job of like playing myself up to be the sexual person previously, so it's people are confused. Um, but I mean, like I said, I was like vulnerable enough to like post these provocative pictures and now I kind of feel like I've already hit my peak of people showing interest and it's kind of like slowing down from here. And like I kind of went into it also, people telling me, "Oh, it's so easy, it's so easy." And like it's like not that easy for me. I've already peaked the first week. And I don't know. I think the people that told me that it was easy are extremely good at what they do and some days aren't so easy for me. I thought it was going to change my life financially and that I could quit my job. I was getting so excited over the idea of potentially quitting my job soon because of my new cool job. And I think I need to like try a little harder. And like I got to hustle. Like this takes hustle. You have to like always be advertising, always posting about it, which I was kind of like trying to keep it like somewhat of a secret maybe. And now I know I have to like be loud about it. I need to be very loud about it and I have to talk about it all the time or else I'm not going to have that life-changing financial state. But I don't know. I really do want to be good at this though. Like I don't really want to quit it. It's something that I am very desperate to thrive in and I'm just going to keep taking tips from my OnlyFans sisters. And I'm going to do it without crossing my own boundaries. We'll try to do that. We're going to try to make some money. Money, money, money. There's like only a couple people though that are like really nice to me. And sometimes I'll message people to like get engagement going and they like don't reply. What the fuck? That makes me feel so ugly. My God. I just didn't really want to get like obsessed into it, but I at least need to like invest even more time into it. Like it's not just like taking nudes and like you can't just like take a picture in a thong. Like people are already bored of that of me. I guess. I don't know. What is the deal? Like people don't think I'm sexy or something? I'm starting to think that. which is how I felt before. So I kind of just like went on this like really high peak roller coaster of like feeling super sexy and then being like, oh, I was right. People don't really think I'm sexy. But maybe I'm just getting discouraged. It's only the first week. I'm gonna try harder from here. But I don't know. I hope I can make more money. I hope I can like keep this going because it's a lot of fun when it's going well. When it's going well, it's so much fun. But I don't want the message to be that like every girl should do this. Like it's definitely not for every girl, even though like I had a lot of fun and I enjoy um taking beautiful pictures. It makes me feel pretty and good about myself, and like having spectators admire them too is feels really good. But I don't think that every woman needs that to feel sexy. Like you're allowed to feel sexy in your own ways. Different things make different women feel sexy. You could feel sexy uh, by being conservative too. That's sexy as well. I kind of thought that because I'm more conservative, that maybe it might be interesting to see more racy pictures of me. So far, I'm wrong, but it'll get better. I just want you to know it's not easy for everybody. It's not been easy for me. But I want it to be for me though. I don't want to be like it's not for me. I'm liking it. We're just we're just still experiencing it. That's just how I feel so far. I've only been doing it for 6 days. But don't feel like you have any pressure that you have to like make an OnlyFans account and you have to like be fucking twerking and like fingering yourself on camera to be sexy to somebody. You absolutely don't have to do that. It's just my particular kink that I'm like watched by strangers. So that's why I'm doing it. And I'm trying to make some bank. But if you have a good job and you're comfortable with your sexiness level and you feel like you can do that and you're not comfortable, then don't do it. Don't feel like you have to do it. Because if you're not comfortable, that's totally fine. Don't do anything that you're uncomfortable with, okay? Please promise me? Okay. Ooh, these are some good questions. Anyway, like, please subscribe to my OnlyFans. Please. Like, it means a lot to me. I love all of my subscribers. I love them each. They're so nice. um, last and final question. Is there anything you wish you had closure on? Um, closure. Not really in the sense that I'm seeking closure from anybody else. I don't think that anyone like really um owes me any closure that I can think of. I don't know. Feel pretty free in that sense that I'm not looking for any closure from anyone. I don't need that from anybody. I think that as far as closure goes, I just want the people that I have maybe been fucked over by, or maybe we had a falling out over whatever bullshit drama, or you think that I hate you over something that happened years ago. I just want you to know that I'm not mad at you anymore. I'm really not mad at you anymore. I've let a lot of the stuff like that go, and I've also like kind of looked at it in the perspective that I am not the most perfect, morally ground person in the world. And I've done things that I've had to explain, even if it was explained poorly, for that were unfavorable too. And sometimes in the situations where maybe I accuse somebody of like fucking me over and like, oh, it's all your fault, I never want to see you again. And I ended up, over time of thinking about it, being more than that. Like, I've definitely learned to like look at points where I've messed up more and I wasn't so perfect before, as opposed to like years ago, I thought I just got fucked over and I didn't deserve anything of it. I played no role, I played no bad part, blah, blah, blah. And two sides to every story. Kind of try to see it from both sides. Yeah. As far as like the cheating and the backstabbing, stuff like that goes. If you've ever done that to me and I was mad as fuck at you, I'm not mad anymore. We're cool. We might not be friends, or maybe we are friends. Some of these people I'm friends with. But sometimes I feel like I see someone that I had a bad past with and they seem scared of me. And I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? It's not like that. It's totally cool. And then they have to like eventually learn that it is fine and the past is in the past, but maybe they need that closure from me. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just want everyone to know I don't hold any grudges towards anybody. I don't. I don't think I'm mad at anybody. I was mad at a girl a few months ago. I'm not mad at her anymore. I'm grudge free and it feels good. Yeah. We're all cool, dude. Like I forgive. You're forgiven. It's a new life. Okay. So, I guess that concludes all the questions. I think I got more questions this time than last time, which is very exciting. I really liked answering these questions, and this little interview of all these different people is great. And honestly, if you want to ask me anything on the side too, you could always reach out to me. This personal questionnaire round has been concluded for today, but like I said, I want to try to live more as an open book and just be there for people in any way that I can. You know, I can't be there for people in every way that I even want to sometimes, but I want to at least be a friend with a helping hand in every way that I can humanly be. I want to thank you guys for listening to this whole thing, for listening to my other episodes, for some of you are like telling your friends that don't know me at all about fake therapy and convincing them to be on the show. That is wonderful. I'm like talking to so many people that I wouldn't talk to if it wasn't for fake therapy. And the whole experience is just like so grand. Like, I love it so much. I'm so happy that like I'm doing this and I went through with it because it's kind of scary. It's always scary to put yourself out there, but and every time I record, I'm always a little bit nervous, but I'm glad I do it. And I feel like I'm doing a service. Like I feel like people really appreciate it. And oh my God, it like builds me up, hypes me up so much to where I'm actually a confident person, which I'm not all the time. But this helps a lot. It makes me feel very loved, and I love all of you guys. I love every person that's been on this show has left as a friend. I really do believe that. And it just helps to talk. I hope that I have a lot more people on the show. I hope that like me talking about all the stuff that I wanted to talk about on the show helps people maybe get inspired to reach out to me and talk about something really cool. So yeah, thank you for listening. You can subscribe and follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We have a YouTube Fake Therapy podcast on YouTube. And on Instagram, you could follow Fake Therapy Podcast. You could follow me on Instagram. My personal account is I think it's underscore bad girl Mar. Yeah, that's what it is. And just keep in touch. I love you guys so much, and thanks for listening and coming back always. Just message me, call me anytime, okay? Talk to you later.